Hi, and welcome to this video on closing the sale. This is the first in a series of 3 videos we're going to make on this subject. So, whether you're a sales manager and you're responsible for coaching people, or you're a salesperson and you're responsible for going out and closing sales, I hope the content will give you some thoughts and ideas that you can go out and put into practice. We need some help with closing skills. We need to close more sales cycles. We need to improve our closing ratio. These and comments on a similar theme are among the most common inquiries we get when customers talk to us about sales training. The reason's obvious, of course. If I improve my closing skills and close more deals, then I'm going to generate more sales and ultimately I should generate more profit. In response, it would be easy as a training company to talk to people about specific closing skills. We might talk about the direct close, simply asking the customer for the business. Would you like to go ahead today? We might talk about assumptive closing, trying to make it easy for the decision maker to make a decision. Everything seems to be in order. Why don't I arrange for us to go ahead next month? We might talk about alternative closing, giving the decision maker 2 things to say yes to. Do you want to buy the red one, or would you rather buy the blue one? Or we might even talk about a concession close, adding something extra to get the decision maker to say yes. If you could go ahead today, I could arrange a 5% discount. Clearly, these are important skills that every account manager, every salesperson should develop. But the likelihood is that by simply focusing on pure closing skills, you will not improve sales performance. A salesperson can close with absolute confidence, but if the sales proposition is wrong, we make it very hard for the customer to be able to say yes. The answer to improving closing skills is usually found much earlier in the sales process, and there are 3 key areas. The first is completing a needs analysis. The second is creating a compelling proposition that the customer wants to buy. And the third is managing customer concerns in the sales process. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the needs analysis. This is the foundation of the sale. It is the time when good salespeople and good account managers spend time with customers to understand and, most importantly, agree specific needs that must be fulfilled for them to be able to say yes to your proposition. It is a time when salespeople and account managers use important skills, those being the skills of questioning, high-yield questioning, and active listening. And most importantly, it is a time when good salespeople and account managers make sure they spend time with every stakeholder who will be involved in the decision-making process. Think about it. If you were managing a sales cycle with a customer and there were 4 people who would have a part to play in the decision, if you only complete a needs analysis with one of those people, then you've already reduced your chances of closing the sale to 25%, because your proposition will be based entirely on the needs, desires and beliefs of that one person. The other 3 stakeholders may not be of a similar mind. They may have other needs, they may have other ideas, they may have other things that they want to see in a proposition. So the needs analysis is not just about asking one person questions, it's about making sure that we understand who the stakeholders are and making sure the needs analysis is completed with each stakeholder. You know, it can get worse than that. There are salespeople that just don't bother with the needs analysis. They just pitch up and make a presentation on their particular product and service. If they should, by some fortune, close the sale, then it's down to their outstanding selling skills. If they don't close the sale, it'll be down to price, marketing, or some other reason that is nothing to do with them. If I gave you an example of this recently, we at TLSA won a large piece of business with a client in London. I spent some time with the CEO afterwards and asked him why he chose to work with us. And his answer was most interesting. He told me that he'd met with 3 training consultancies in deciding who he was going to work with. 2 of those consultancies had come in and tried to sell him off-shelf products and solutions, told him how good they were, but at no time tried to understand his needs, so they tried to sell him a solution that was not tailored to meet those needs. I was delighted when he said to me that your guy came in, asked lots of questions, and came up with a solution that was specifically tailored for what we want to achieve. That is the art of doing a needs analysis. So, the needs analysis really is the foundation of the sale. So the challenge is, how do we do it? It's not nearly as complicated as people would have you think. The reality is it's about asking the right questions in the right areas. For me, there are 5 areas that you should focus on. The first is the customer's business. Understanding how the customer's business works, the budgets they've got available, the timescales that they've got to work with. The individuals. Who are the people that will be involved in the decision-making process? And most importantly, what needs to be integrated into a proposition for each individual to be able to say yes? The industry. What are the challenges, what are the opportunities that the customer faces to achieve their strategic objectives? And by the way, can you help? The customer's customers, who are they? Is it a broad customer base? Is it a narrow customer base? Does it make you reflect on how much time you want to invest with a customer? And 5th, and most important, the future. Here's a bit of news for you. Most sales opportunities lie in the future, yet the area in which most salespeople and account managers are guilty of not asking enough questions in is the future. Many of us focus on the present, and in some industries we're more interested in what happened 2 years ago than what is going to happen in the next 2 years. We can't change the past, but we can certainly impact on the future. So 5 areas to think about asking questions in: the business, the individuals, the industry, the customer's customers, and the future. Focus around those 5 areas and you will complete a good needs analysis. And when you've done that, take the time with each stakeholder to summarise. Use a statement that says something like this: if I've understood you correctly, the key objectives here are to provide a solution that will deliver A, B, and C. Is that correct? If the answer is yes, then you have already significantly increased your chances of closing the sale. You have identified the customer's needs and you're in a great position to create a proposition that will meet those needs, something the customer can say yes to. The other answer you might get is yes, but. And all that's happening there is the customer is educating you. The customer is maybe talking about something you haven't quite understood or something that needs to be expanded, but you are still taking the right steps to improve the chances of closing the sale because you are understanding the customer's needs. So ask questions in those 5 areas, summarise, and you're building through a needs analysis the foundations for closing the sale. So if you want to improve closing skills and you want to improve sales results, go back to the foundation of the sale, the needs analysis. If you take a positive view on this and you establish needs with your customers, you will understand what is important to them and you will be able to create a compelling proposition to which the customer can say yes. To do that, you do need the skills of questioning, open, closed, summarising, qualifying, high yield questioning to really agree specific needs, and of course, active listening. If you don't establish needs, then your whole sales proposition is based on assumption. You may deliver a great proposition, you may deliver a great presentation, but if it isn't what the customer wants to buy, the likelihood of getting a yes is remote. So really focus on building good foundations to the sales by completing a high quality needs analysis. Finally, just keep closing in perspective. In business-to-business selling, to bring a sales cycle to a close may take 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, even 20 meetings, depending on the complexity of the sale. You're not going to get an order at every meeting, but if you're a sales manager, encourage your salespeople to think about setting a closing objective for every meeting. And of course, if you are a salesperson or an account management, make sure you set a closing objective for every meeting. It may be getting one stakeholder to introduce you to another. It may be getting the customer to commit to providing you with data, research, outputs that allows you to create and progress the needs analysis. It may be simply agreeing to another meeting or agreeing a timetable on which the sales cycle will be managed. But whenever you have the privilege of a customer's time, make sure you set an objective that defines, this is what I want to close in this meeting. I hope we've given you some good thoughts and good ideas, and I hope you'll join us for the next video in the series. Thank you.